Hello guys, welcome back to another Cognizant Education video. Today we're going to be talking about Algebra 1, Unit 1, Lesson 4, Ratio, Proportion, and Percent. This is actually our last unit of Algebra 1. Not of Algebra 1, I'm sorry. This is our last lesson of Unit 1 of Algebra 1. And so we're going to start off with our key terms, like we always do. So first, we have ratio. Oh, ratio. A comparison of two quantities A colon B or A divided by B. And we have proportion. I spelled that wrong there. That's my bad. You're taking notes, you might want to change that. Proportion. Then we have a proportion and equation stating two ratios are equal. And an example is A divided by B is equal to C divided by D, or you can write that as. Remember, fractions are just division. The numerator is being divided by the denominator. The denominator is what's on the bottom, the numerator is what's on the top. Okay, and then we have cross multiplication, which is when you have A over B or A divided by B equals C over D over divided by or C divided by D. What you can do is you can do this, like you cross it. That's why it's called cross multiplication. And whichever you make an X and whichever ones connect, so A and D, you multiply those, A and D, and you multiply B and C. Those are also equal. AD is equal to BC. Okay. Now we have percent. Percent. A ratio out of 100. So let's say you have X percent. That's the same thing as X divided by 100. So like 50%, you have half of something, right? You have 50%. So that's the same thing as 50 divided by 100 or 1/2. So that makes sense. And then you have percent of a number. So let's say you want a certain part of a like number. So it's the part is equal to percent times the whole number. So let's say you want 60% of X. That's going to be equal to just 60% times X or 0.60X, because remember, this is just the same thing as right here. It's just 60 divided by 100, which is 0.6. Also, if you have some, we'll talk about it later, but then we have percent change. So equals new minus old divided by old. So let's say you have your original price was like $50 and now it's raised to $60. How much did the how much percent did it increase? So you have the new one, which is $60 minus $50 all over 50. So you get 10 over 50 or 1/5, which is just 0.2. So 20% increase, and you can see that. Um, yeah, we'll talk about that later on how you can prove this. And then we have, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but if a percent change is greater than zero, so like 50%, then it's like if you're saying it goes up 50%, then that's um positive 50%. But if you're saying it goes down 50%, that's less than zero, negative 50%. And that's a decrease. It's a weird definition. I'll talk about it more in the practice problems, and I'll make some of my own because I'm not sure if the ones I already have will be good at this. Okay. Okay. So solve the proportion. Let me do this. Solve the proportion. So we have x plus 2 divided by 5 equals 9 over 15. So we're going to start this out by, remember, cross multiplying. So we get x plus 2 times 15, so that's, I'm going to use distributive property, which we learned in an earlier lesson, but I'll just do this in my head. So don't get confused if you need to, if you do get confused, just write out 15 times x plus 2 in parentheses and then distribute the 15. So we get 15x plus 30 equals 5 times 9, which was 45. We minus the 30, minus 30. This cancels out. This becomes 15, so we get 15x equals 15. Divide both sides by 15. This cancels out. This cancels out. And then in turn we get x equals 1. See if that's true. X plus 2, so 1 plus 2, so we get 3/5 is equal to 9 over 15. Now that might seem different, but let's see. Let's times this by 3 over 3. But you might be thinking, if we times one side by something, don't we have to do it to the other side to keep the equality the same? Well, look at this. This is 3 divided by 3. That's just 1. We can times this by 1. It's just going to stay the same. So is this. So we're just keeping this the same, but technically we're making it more complicated. So when you multiply fractions, you just multiply the numerators and denominators. So 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 5 is 15. It's the same thing as this thing. Okay. Example problem number 2. Shirt originally costs $40. Is on sale. Oh my gosh, that's horrible for my spelling. 25% off. What is the sale price? Okay. So let's think about it. You might think it is on sale for 25% off. You might think, oh, we just times the original cost by 25%. Well, look at this. Look at this. It's 25% off. We're taking 25% off of it, not 25% of it. So if we have 100% at first, this is 100%, obviously. It's original price, it's 100%. If we take away 25% of it, it'd be 75%. So it's 75% of 40, which is 75 divided by 100, or 0.75 times 40. And the math, um, I'm pretty, yeah, it's 30. But the sale price is $30. Okay, example 3. A student scored 48 out of 60 on a quiz. What percent did they score? Now, I encourage you to do this without a calculator, because look, we have 48 out of 60, which is 48 divided by 60. First of all, we just looked at something. When you have a fraction, if you multiply the numerator and denominator by the same thing, the fraction stays the same. Now, what if you divide it? So think about that. And look at this. We know that anything divided by 10, it's just point of that number. So like, you just move the decimal one back. So this is 5.0 because you move it here, 0.5. You have 50 divided by 10. You move it here, 5. 7 divided by 10, it's right here. You move it here, 0.7. Now look, is there a greatest common factor between these? That when you divide the denominator by it, you get 10? Now that you've thought of it, I'm gonna reveal it. It's 6. So you divide this by 6. Divide this by 6. 48 divided by 6 is, I'd like to say, 8. Yep, it's 8. Okay, so we get 8. 60 divided by 6, that's just 10. So we get 0.8, or 80%. Okay, last example problem, unless something I missed or need to go over. Okay, I keep on forgetting to write the example numbers. A population grew from 2,400 to 2,760. Find percentage increase. So we remember the formula. New minus old divided by old. So we get grew to 2,760, so that's 2,760 minus 400, that's 360, right? Yep, 360 divided by 400. Now again, look at common dividers. I mean, a tip I'll give you is to first divide both of these by 10 to make it easier. Because you just get rid of a 0. That's what happens. Like 360 divided by 10. You're asking what multiplied by 10 equals 360? 36. It's easy. 2,400 divided by 10. What multiplied by 10 gives you 2,400. 2,040. It's pretty easy. So you get 36 over 240. Let's look at other. We have 4 as a common divisor. We get 9 over 60? 240 divided by, what was it, 4? Yep, it's 60. And then we get, divide both sides by 3. We get 3 divided by 20. Now, okay, I get it's getting a bit complicated, but you can also do this again. 1.5 divided by 10, it's 0.15. So we had a 0.15% increase. Let me just check that. Something might have went. No, it's right. Yeah, we had a 0.15 or a 15% increase. So that's it for unit 1. And we're gonna do a big unit 1 review after this. So that video will be probably out right after this one. So, and it'll mainly be practice problems. So good job making it through the first unit. This is pretty like short. I'd say we're trying to get just the concepts and the basics done really quick, and then we can start moving on to the more complex stuff. All right, see you in the next video.